What's going on, everybody? We are back. We
What
got
up?
webcams. This is weird.
Webcams. I know this is kind of weird, but whatever. Here
Figured
we are.
try something new here so you can see our fugly faces. But
Ugly is right.
yep. So yeah, finally Riot's back after this small break. Hopefully a well-deserved break. Um, and not having to do with any sexual harassment.
I hope to God not, but who knows?
All right, we're just
In the
gonna go
wake
back
of
in.
everything.
Patch 11.16 is coming out tomorrow. This is Tuesday night, August 10th, and a lot of it is what we went over the last week before.
Yeah, I think it was episode 3, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of it is what we went over. There were those small changes. I think it was like Fiora, Tom Kench. Um, the big one, the big thing that I vaguely like browsed through this, and it was just the Sona rework, which is the biggest highlight of this patch.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anything on this patch yet, so I'd be interested to see kind of what they end up doing. I'm just looking at the brief breakdown, the what do they call it? The quick notes or whatever. Um, that shows the skins and who's nerfed, who's buffed, but no details. And it looks pretty interesting because I'm seeing a lot of nerfs around the entire champion's uses. So I mean, Diana, Fiora, Kench, and Xin being used in any lane pretty much, or being used by all low end and high end players. I see a lot of nerfs going around that way. So this should be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Also, almost forgot really quick before we get into. We promised to respond to our boy
Oh, that's
Timek from
right.
Poland just really quick. Get some great ideas from one of our first videos about um a few changes what they could do to champions. And I got that in front of you. I don't think you have it in front of you, but that's fine.
I don't have
Um
it in front of me now.
so the first thing he suggested for Talia is a kind of quality of life buff for her. I'm gonna read it directly what he said. First, Talia, she needs some kind of quality of life buff for her W because the ability is horribly hard and uncomfortable to use. I agree. That's the pushback, the old knock up of rocks.
Yep.
It's very. I've only played Talia like never, so no, I've probably played her like once or twice in an ARAM, but it's like you have. It's kind of like the Victor laser where you have to like drag it and then it goes. You have to like
Yeah,
hit it and then angle it towards you.
yeah. It's a little. It's not super difficult, but like at first use, it's difficult for sure.
So maybe what he suggested is, or her, Riot can, for example, make the player choose direction of the knockup after casting. So you hit W, and then maybe it would like prompt you to move your cursor, which I think that would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Next he had Caitlyn, and we are talking about that. Problem is she's too strong early and late game. So yeah, because she's a lane bully. She's got the range. She has the headshots, which he mentions about in a second, but for sure mid game is pretty garbage. Like we were saying,
Garbage. The
needs at
two
least
item
yeah,
dip is awful.
strong with one item, not strong with two items, and then maybe a third, and then once he gets Infinity Edge, but that's four items. Um,
Yeah.
so what he suggested is make her less dependent on those on her headshots because you that's I mean you get that by sitting in
Well,
the bush.
it's not just the regular headshot. It's the
The
trap and
trap, right,
net
and the E.
headshot
Yeah, yeah.
particularly, because that's really what kills. I mean, don't get me wrong. That gives a really
Battery low.
massive amount of damage. I mean, you drop a trap, get the free headshot, have her next headshot charged up, and then drop the E and get another headshot. It's like Jesus Christ, you're gonna 100 to 0 somebody really fast.
So I mean,
But that's the only combo she's got. That's really the only thing other than range.
so yeah, it's the whole like. I agree. I agree. It's less dependent on the trap and the E, but I guess at the same time you can argue that that makes up her whole kit. Fuck, hold on,
Fair.
we're good.
Charging
The
battery.
last one that he mentioned was Swain.
Yeah.
He said, I spammed him throughout season 10, but left him for season 11 because one, I fell in love with Bard. Two, I actually hate his build path. I totally agree with that. I played Swain a lot last season, and that build path is really rough. And sometimes it doesn't feel like you can get Azonias really enough. And I feel like you really need Azonias to use his ulti well. Um, and until you get to that point, his build path is hot garbage.
It is.
Um, this says also previously I could easily play support with him because I was building a Rod of Ages into Zonias and became an unkillable god of team fights. Now there's no more Rod of Ages. That
Oh,
makes that build
you're
path difficult. Very difficult.
Rod was good.
He loses his tankiness. And also, as you guys said, his items are really expensive. Swain just needs better items or some kind of laning buffs to make him a consistent bot lane carry. Yeah, I think right now he doesn't do. I think Vladimir does better what Swain does, which used to be the flip, where Swain did what Vladimir does, but better. But he just doesn't. Swain doesn't have a lane. He doesn't have a place. He just seems lost, and like I said, it's just the items or something's not helping him out. I know. I think they tried to nerf his health with the items, so maybe they could unnerf it with his passive. Excuse me.
Maybe.
Yeah, add an extra 5 health to his passive, and then maybe that would help. I don't know.
Well, I mean, regardless, these were some cool suggestions. And again, Timek, thank you. Hopefully you do see this. And yeah, go ahead and post more stuff like this
Thanks,
because
dude.
more than because there's gonna be things that we can't think of that other people are gonna think of, and these are great ideas.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got that out of the way. Let's go to the patch notes.
Back to the notes. All right. So first up on the list, as per usual, is the group of champions that they have more or less nerfed first.
Yeah,
Looks like they're starting
Battery
with
low.
Diana, and it's the passive nerf to non-epic monsters. They're dropping it by another 50%. It was at 300%. It's now at 250. It's not a crazy nerf, but it is a little bit slower on her clear speed, which realistically that champion shouldn't really be doing anything to level 6. So they should punish that champion. That 1 through 6 should be difficult in order to unlock her potential at 6.
well, it's also I think allowing other champions to compete with her because if she can just
Yes.
clear the jungle very quickly, she's gonna get to 6 a lot quicker. I mean,
Yes.
she gets attack speed, obviously, and then she has a cleave like a AOE. So that's pretty devastating, and that's makes her one of the fastest jungle farmers. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's, again, like I said, this is a lot of stuff we already went over, but these are just little like they're toning back just a hair to make sure they're still viable, to make sure Diana's still viable, but not crazy insane. What she is.
Yep. That's going to nerf her jungle all the way around, but pretty straightforward. I think I don't think there's really much else to go on with that.
Oh, same thing with Fiora. They're just increasing the cooldown, or excuse me, yes, they're increasing the cooldown of her E.
Just later. So first level's the same, but it
Yeah,
doesn't scale the same as it did before.
again, because you're gonna max your E second on Fiora. I don't think that's that big of a deal. That's not her main source of. I don't think that's gonna do much. She's still a broken champion. I feel
I
like she
haven't
did.
even seen any Fioras in any games I've played lately, but obviously maybe she's being played in higher elo.
Oh right, yeah, not anywhere where we exist. So,
Yes.
all right. So moving on, we'll go through this a little bit quicker. Jarvan, again, we're getting the buff. The increased damage, max or current health damage to his from his passive from 8% to 10%, and Cataclysm is getting a 30% increase in AD.
Yeah,
Um,
expect some more lethality J4, which was always kind of been fun because I think he's a crap tank. He's always been kind of a he's not even a juggernaut, just kind of a bruiser fighter. He's on the weaker side of bruiser, tankier side of fighter. So pushing his damage up just a little bit, I think, is going to be pretty key here.
I mean, I think this might also encourage him to go tank. I think we've mentioned this before. Like, so they're increasing the rate. They're increasing his damage, his ratio on his R. So like, he just has to build a little bit of AD now, and he'll still get. And he can just build tank. I think tank is gonna be the best.
Yeah, probably. I mean, realistically, you're probably right, but I mean, low elo People see damage buffs go,
Oh
oh,
yeah, I'm gonna
damage.
Deathblade Collector it up, baby.
Yeah, you're gonna Sterix Blade. Wow, Sterix Gauge, Sterix Gauge Core Drinker. You'll be fine. This is probably at best a really good ARAM nerf or buff. Excuse me, I
Yeah,
can't speak apparently.
I think Jarvan just suffers from. He's a very okay. He excels at early game. He can just gank level 2. But like same thing we mentioned Diana. Like Diana's just gonna shit on him clear speed
Yeah.
and gonna outlevel him very quickly.
Yep. Yep. I
Uh,
mean, this champion was so useless to the point that he became a support last season, and he hasn't seen any play at all this season. So I look forward to this.
cool. All right, moving on to Jin. Same thing we already went over. They are lower or they're increasing the damage on this W by it goes from it ramps up from 10 to oh no it's 10 every rank. I'm drunk.
Yep. Yep.
10
No, you're
at
good.
every level. And then they're increasing the AD ratio on the minimum damage by 5%.
On his ulti. Yeah,
Ooh.
5%. That's a 5% is everything.
Oh my.
That's just a nice little almost a quality of life buff. Just not a big thing, which I think is good because of the way this champion sits in the game as it is, as not being a tank buster. I think if you give him too much damage, he becomes a tank buster. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, for sure.
I like this. I think this is a good little buff. It should increase the rate of how often you see him in low elo because people like to play him. And I think part of it's because he has a good theme.
Oh, he's
Um,
awesome. He's sick.
yeah, super cool theme, and so I think that's why people like to play him. Give him a little bit more damage, a little more viability, and yeah, I like this. I like this buff.
Make it help him compete a little bit better with the Kaisas and
Yeah,
the of the world. All right, so moving on to Karma. I
this is a
think
big one.
was
Very, very big
this
one.
wasn't on the PBE changes, was it? I don't
No, this
remember.
was not. This was not.
So
I haven't seen this. This is huge.
so for her passive, they are removing the part where auto attacks decrease her ult cooldown. Obviously, her ult being the mantra that empowers her other abilities. So no longer reduces from auto attacks, but um, abilities will always reduce it by 5 seconds all the time, which is a decent buff. Considering it started out at level at 2 seconds reduction, and then it moved up to 5 by level 11. So now you're getting that 5. I was gonna say 5%. You're gonna get that 5 seconds immediately, which is pretty big.
So does this put her in
I'd say this is
the
more
territory for a champion that has to use tier?
maybe because you're gonna be. I was also thinking this might not even. I haven't even looked down a little bit. This might push her more to be. Oh man, I was gonna say a mid laner. I don't know because like if I'm playing her support, auto attacking, harassing with just her auto attacks were good. But if she's gonna be
Yeah.
spamming abilities, this might be, in my opinion, taking her out of support possibly. I mean, mid
It
karma's not
could. It
uncommon.
might not because the support items have so much mana regen in the enchanter world that it might not take her out of it. It would just make her early game a little bit more difficult. But I think she would still scale up to be the terror that she is.
She's annoying. She's annoying as
She's
fuck.
extremely annoying, especially in the mid game. I don't think she's that great late game, because everything revolves around her mantra. But
I think. I
uh,
mean, full
up to
support.
mid game or full team fight, I think everything that she does isn't completely contingent on her mantra. Like you don't need the full team shield or the empowered Q to do something. But in the late game, you kind of do need that because you're trying to protect everybody. A good front to back team fight. Um, so I think this may make her early levels a little bit more difficult, but I think overall she should be pretty good either which way you spin it.
Um. So moving down to her Q, the base Q is getting nerfed damage early, and then it scales back up. It's dropped 20 base damage at level 1, and then it curves back out to
Yeah.
270.
Yep.
The
Yep.
cooldown is getting increased by 1 second. Is it 1 second? No, is it? This is where 8. 8 to
There's a half
9.
seconds in between.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
more or
very.
less 1 second.
You don't want to do that shit
It
to
does.
fucking silver and gold players, dude. You don't know
Well,
what that
so what it
means.
does do is at max rank, it's actually a lower cooldown,
Right.
but it's higher at rank 1. So I think that's just to combat her innate cooldown on casting abilities.
Right. The mana cost
And
is
then she's gonna get
dropping.
mana
That's
cost
good.
is dropping to help out, and
Then
she's gonna get
that's a
a
buff.
boost in
That's a
damage.
fat
Yeah,
buff on that mantra Q.
yeah,
So
which
15
she's gonna need if
damage.
she can't cast it as often. So I'm not against that. I'm not against that. She's gonna have one pop instead of consistent pops.
40 extra base
Base
damage
damage. Yeah, it's pretty.
on that
That's a
rank
lot.
5, and you're maxing Q
Yeah.
first. Oh
Yep.
yeah, I guess maybe not. So that was another thing that makes me seem, because I don't know. I don't play support Karma. I mean, I'd imagine if you're playing mid Karma, you want to max your Q for wave clear.
Yes.
So, and I'm assuming you'd want to max your shield for support. I'm trying
I think
to.
you still max Q and then you go shield. Or I think mid you go Q W because you have the heal on the W, the mantra W.
Let me actually. So we have the E's actually coming up next. So let's see what this says, and we can make an point. So her non mantra shield is getting a
Going
if
up
yeah,
late. Yeah.
at late it's up by 20. Okay. The
Let's get a
movement
movement
speed
speed
though
nerf
is stuck at 40% instead of 40 to
instead of
60.
scaling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then let's see, 30% of the total shields amount, 30% bonus. Okay. 30% of the total shields amount, 100%. Wow. Okay. So that's getting nerfed.
Yeah, that is. You're
It's
not gonna be
dropping
able to
by
just sprint
70.
around the place. That's a lot.
That, yeah, 100. Yeah. So that's going.
From 100% bonus movement speed to 30% bonus movement speed. That's a very big difference. That means she's
Oh,
probably going to be mired in support
I
and
didn't
not as a solo
even.
laner because you can't engage your jungler to sprint in.
I had no idea is that so. Again, this is I think we've talked about this. Sometime Riot word shit, and maybe I just didn't know this aspect of it. When it says bonus movement speed, is that taking the movement speed of the target?
Yes, and it's only their bonus movement
So
speed, so
yeah,
not their base movement speed, but whatever they've added to it. So
so yeah,
if you have Moby's, what do you get at Moby's 70 movement speed? You would get like 100, and you would get another 70 movement speed, but now you're only going to get, I don't know what
right.
30% is,
So okay, I
23.
see. I couldn't. I was like, okay, so it just says defined to buff nearby allies. Okay, okay. So that's still telling me like I don't know. I'm gonna
I didn't even know the movement speed ratio was that high to begin with.
right. That's a lot.
That's
That's gonna You're
a
gonna feel that, and that's
mega
again.
amount.
I'm just like thinking this might push her to be mid more. I'll try it, find out. We'll see. Um, Lee Sin, really quick. We already went over it. The Omni Vamp on the W is dropping by 5%.
Yep, just a little bit.
That
Nothing
5%,
crazy.
that 5%. Um,
5% everything.
it is. And maybe I mean we were saying that was a hit on Soul Lane Lee Sin
Yes.
because
He
putting
can't
him back
just
in the
cast it
jungle
on himself and, and start
to stand the shit out of everything.
champions. Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving down to Lulu. And again, I think we went over this, but the W is getting increased by 1 second on cooldown,
Yep.
and the ulti cooldown is getting nerfed at ranks 1 and 2, and then it curves back up to what it is now at 80 seconds.
Yes.
I mean, do we still think that
I still think this
enchanters?
champion's ridiculous.
I think she's I. Yeah, I guess
So
she yeah. Okay.
what I've noticed, if when you look at like top champions of the support role right now, is you have engagers and you have enchanters, and the enchanters that are at the top are the disengage enchanters, like Lulu, like Janna, and the reason is because these champions stop engagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't pick one of these champions, then the engagers tend to rule. That the enchanters are more or less a counter pick to the engager in the current state of the game. And so yeah, I mean, when I see Lulu pick, I'm like, well, I don't want to play Thresh. I don't want to play Leona. I'll play like Yumi or something. You know what I mean? Um, But when I see an engager picked, I'm like, I will pick in a defensive engager or even an offensive engager so I can counter that engage. But to just put Lulu out, nah.
No, 1
It's
second.
just nah.
No, I think it's yeah. I think she'll be fine.
I think she's I don't see this putting her out. She still has a very good spot in this game, considering that engaging champions are still the way to go. Your Alistairs, your Threshes, your Leonas. Um, I think she's fine. I think this helps the rest of us that play those champions. Definitely quality of life for us, but yeah, end all be all. I don't think it's anything crazy.
Okay, so we moving down to Maokai, and
Lamaukai.
this is trying to get him back top lane to compete in top lane.
Yeah, get him out of the support role and actually make him viable in any other
I
role.
mean, we haven't even seen him. I can't remember last time you even played him support.
Beginning of the season when they changed the items out and Imperial Mandate was dumb. But even then, when they changed the items out, he was not that. He was not as good as he was with the Leandries.
So they are. I'm doing a healing bug. I'm trying to it already was. Okay, so they're adding a little extra like clarity on it. I don't even know like why the fuck they would 5 to 65. And did they really have to like okay, this thing I'm talking about. Like
I guess there was some bugs. That's what I'm seeing. It says there was some heal and
scaling
scaling bugs, or
bugs.
it wasn't working properly, so they had to break it into a per level uh, change. Or
Yikes.
per looks like multi-level. So levels 1 through 6, it don't change very much, or it doesn't change at all from level 1 till you hit level 6, and then it's level 9 it changes, level 11, 13, 15, 17. So that's 1 through 6. You're still kind of weak in lane. And then once you start hitting those secondary levels, it's gonna start picking up in usefulness. I think is how I'm reading that.
I'm trying to see. So it starts at 5, at 7%. I don't know. You're gonna feel it a little bit because the max health is starting at 7% scaling rather than 5%.
Yeah,
So you're gonna feel a little bit.
it looks
But
like they kind of did the same thing with sapling toss. They had to. It must have been a damage bug or something
nerf.
like that
Yeah,
where
they're
it's not hitting
nerfing it.
right. Are they nerfing it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they are at the very very end of it. Yeah, they're nerfing it just a little bit.
the base is
But
dropping by 5, and then
yeah,
the AP ratio is down 10%
yep,
per
fair
100
enough.
AP. Yeah, so that's maybe.
Sometimes it's hard to read when they put the strike through it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like,
dude, sometimes I
seriously,
can't
like
read that.
come on, bruh. I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think there's still better top laners, and
Yeah,
in a
there
world
are,
where there's fighter top laners, they're still
and
gonna like destroy Maokai.
I feel like in a world where Ornn exists, you don't need Maokai.
Also, the other thing we went over is there's not enough tank mana items,
No,
and he needs that.
no, you don't want to have to build Frozen Heart every game without having a Rod of Ages or a the old Abyssal Mass that
Ooh,
gave you
that was
mana.
good.
It makes it very hard to use as champion. He's a caster tank, right?
They should have
He's
dropped
not going to
mana
make
costs on
use,
him.
right?
And I don't want
I
to
mean,
run. I don't want to run.
blue tree
Yeah, I don't want to
with
run that.
mana flow, or
Or
yellow tree with
yeah,
presence,
I don't want to
because
run
those
that.
don't do anything for him really.
No.
You can go tank and I mean, he's got so many different things you could
Right.
use, but there's other things that you would rather use than try to combat his mana costs.
Well, we'll see. I still think if there's like champions like Jace, a lot of like poke fighting top
Beat the
laners.
shit out of him. Yeah,
Like Jace is a free scaling, Gangplank is a free scaling against this dude. Like I don't think he's just too
yeah,
weak. He's too weak.
yeah.
All
No
right, so
care
we're
about it. Yep.
moving down to Nunu, and again
Snoo snoo.
they're just bumping those
Movement
AP
speed.
ratios, and they have
Movement speed and AP ratio. So 5 extra movement
that
speed
5%. No,
and a couple of 4% on the damage ratio per snowball in the E.
that's big,
I'm
dude.
happy it's the E. When I first read snowball, I was thinking
The W,
the W.
but that's still a lot.
So I'm glad it's the E because that's the harder one to actually get off. I think the W is so much more of a core skill. that. I was kind of butthurt if it was the W, but it's the E. I'm like, it's not so bad. He's got to be up in your grill, and if you're playing a champion that can fight that, then you're just gonna pummel him for what he's pummeling you for, and that's okay.
I also think that 5 base movement speed is a lot.
It is.
For early levels, he's going to be moving around. He destroys camps already. Like,
Yep.
I want to talk about Power Farmer. That's interesting. So I think
Yeah.
if you need an AP threat on your team, play AP Nunu. I think that's going to be it.
Okay, question. Do you think this is to help combat Diana?
Maybe.
AP threat, increase some AP, maybe
I
kind of
think
push Diana out a little bit?
I think Diana is like the only S tier AP jungler. Like, I guess Lilia is in there somewhere.
And Lilia's not S tier right now. She's like
Exactly.
B
So
tier.
I think
And
maybe.
Shyvana's not S tier. Shyvana's
Yeah, I think this might actually overtake Diana.
it could because he definitely is going to be. Well, I don't know. He might not be tankier because she's kind of bruisery as she is. As an assassin, she kind of has a bruisery feel.
He's good though. I mean, he has CC level 2. So
Yeah, he does. Oh, I like. I'm not shitting on the new. I like the
no, yeah,
new.
we'll try it. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be
I
really
hope so. I
fucking
hope
good.
so.
Okay, so I was reading the Shaco changes, and this is actually a buff. Because now,
it is because you can't see him fucking poof away.
Exactly.
That's bullshit.
Fucking stupid. And
that is bullshit.
I used to ban Shaco a lot because I just hate seeing this champion, dude. And then they have a bunch of I'm assuming these are bug fixes for his ulti. I don't think I remember reading those. No longer override all commands. Attempt to repeatedly path back to Shaco. When Shaco, no one cares because we're gonna ban this champion. Moving on.
Yeah, I hate seeing that champion in the support role because he's so stupid and annoying. He doesn't do anything except lay a box, throw an E at you, and then maybe backstab you every once in a while. But it's like I feel like anytime he ulties, your teammate just kills the wrong one and leaves you to die. Like, stop. If he's running at you, he's probably fake.
Unless you're
just
good.
leave him alone.
There's no good Shaco players in our Elo that can like can make their clone look like.
I mean, Dom's pretty decent.
He's not in our Elo.
But hey,
I know.
All right, yeah, that's I think all we need to know about Shaco because fuck Shaco.
Sivir, again, don't need to go over it. It's just they're buffing the AD ratio on the W. I think Dark Harvest lethality is still the best on her. As much as I hate that.
Well, they're forcing it on you by adding damage ratios, so they're like, to hell with attack speed, damage ratios.
That's all I gotta do. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now this is the big one. This is Sona. This is gonna be a lot.
New passive.
So her Sona's basic abilities grant her permanent Accelerando stacks. She gains 0.5 non-ultimate ability haste per stack, up to 60 non-ultimate ability haste. That's fucking insane just hearing that.
That is absolutely
so 60
insane.
Ability haste plus every fucking item you're going to build on her is going to give 10 to 20 ability haste.
No. You haven't read the next sentence yet.
Okay, once she reaches
when she reaches 60 non-ultimate ability haste, instead of gaining additional Accelerando stacks, her ultimate ability's current cooldown reduces by 1.5 seconds each time she would get an Accelerando stack.
So that's just
how broken it is to have a fucking crescendo up all the time.
So are you saying she can't get more than 60 ability haste?
So she can get 60 non-ultimate ability haste max, right? Out of that passive. Anything past 60 starts affecting her ultimate. So she's going to get a 1.5 second cooldown to her ultimate, which is insane because ability haste in most cases doesn't even give you that much per point.
I'm just confused. Are you? I'm trying to. So once she reaches 60 non-ultimate ability haste, which is the Accelerando. So
yes, it has to be. I think through the Accelerando. I don't think it counts on regular.
So then
haste.
she can still. So her abilities are going to be
continue buying ability haste. Yes,
and that's her her QW. Her basic abilities are going to be insane.
Yes.
Right. Okay. But every time she hits her Q, it's just going to keep lowering the R.
After 60.
Right. So that that sounds so broken. I
It
don't
is.
I don't
Oh, you know what? It doesn't have to be just her Q. I was scrolling down
right,
looking at.
the abilities, the
So
empowered, right?
yeah, so the Q says
How is
a
that
stack of Accelerando for each bolt that hits an enemy champion. The W says the Aria of Perseverance's aura now grants a stack each time you heal an injured ally, prevent at least 25 to 125 damage with the shield. You don't get it on the E, and actually you do lose
mana refund?
the mana refund, which is kind of nice.
But
So
the
yeah,
dropping
on
the
on the
mana
Q and
cost,
the
so
W, the two skills you're going to use the most.
so how is that balanced? Couldn't you essentially get to the point where your R is up like literally every
All the
time?
time, I would think. That might
See,
be really
I'm
long into the game though, so that's what I don't know.
but
It's very possible that may be like, I mean, a 50-minute game, in which case they're just trying to end the fucking game.
I'm just maybe I'm just missing something here. I wanted to go on PBE to try her out, but I mean it'll be out tomorrow and I could try it out.
I do like this change on our ulti where where it hits champions, minions, and monsters instead of just champions.
I'm butthurt
That's kind of nice.
because I kind of wish. So does this doesn't mean epic monsters?
Uh,
Because are you telling
champions,
me?
minions, and monsters. Oh no, probably not epic
I was
monsters.
gonna say you tell me you
You
can
probably
the
can't make Baron
dragon,
dance.
Baron and Dragon dance. That would have been cool.
You know what I did notice up here too is all of her skills are getting a mana reduction,
Yeah,
which I think is that could be a little too much.
like I just I don't know if maybe we're just missing something here because unless she like you said unless she can't, it just doesn't make sense. So she's gonna have 60. Essentially, say you haven't built any ability haste on her, but you max out her passive 60. So all of her abilities have 60 ability haste, and then if you're 6 items, if
60 is what the equivalent of 40%, right?
yeah, I think so. So
Okay, okay.
and then again, every item she's building it probably has 10 to 20 ability haste each.
Yeah, you look at Redemption, Ardent Censer, Staff of Flowing Water, and
Could even build
she
I
would probably go Mandate, but she could go Moonstone or Shirelia's. Both have ability haste.
so she's gonna have probably over 100 ability
110
haste,
plus, yeah, maybe 120.
and then instead of getting addition, and then every time she lands a Q, she's getting 1.5 seconds off, which also, by the way,
A
is
Q or a W.
is already getting reduced by the ability haste you're purchasing.
Yes.
I don't
And
I don't see this doesn't make sense.
with no nerf on the cooldown to
That
crescendo either.
that
That's
either. This
insane.
doesn't make any sense to me. There's got to be
I feel
something.
like well, I feel like if you're not playing this champion, you're
This sounds
stupid.
insanely broken. Like this,
Yes.
I don't. I feel like we're missing something, or maybe they worded it wrong because this does makes no sense. Your R is gonna be up like every second then, like by late game if the game
Eventually,
goes that
yeah.
late, like right.
Eventually, yep.
Also, the other thing I never didn't notice is stacks off minions. Her passive stacks off minions does not say has to hit a champion.
Does it really?
I don't see anything about it says
Well, the Q says now grants a stack of Accelerando for each bolt that hits
okay,
an
you're
enemy
right. Okay,
champion.
there you go. Okay.
Let's say, wait.
Yeah, I
And
was
then
like,
the
okay,
W
hold
is
on a
every time
second.
you
That's
support somebody.
fucking
Yeah.
insane. Okay, that would okay. Yeah. But still, I mean,
Bottom line is, when this comes out tomorrow,
this
or
has to be
whenever you're hearing this episode, play this champion. I feel like it's gonna be pretty broken and a good way to counter the other enchanters that are more counter engage based. I kind of like it. And you're giving a champion a whole new life because she was basically useless.
yeah.
I mean, with
This
Seraphine
is
taking her place.
if you're not if you're not first picking this champion, I really think you need to ban it because this is insane.
Yeah,
This feels insane. Um.
agreed.
All right. Wow. That is very interesting. I feel like that's gonna get hot fixed somehow. I feel like it's gonna get hot fixed.
Probably,
Um.
probably.
All right. So and also I can't wait to see some Krugs dancing with her ulti. I'm just gonna ult fucking
Yes.
Krugs or Grunt
Yeah,
for
do
no
it.
reason.
Hey, Krubs, how's
Um,
the kids?
all right, moving on to Tom Kench. Again, we already went over this in the PBE. They're just barely nerfing the base damage on his passive by
Yeah,
4.
nerfing it early so he keeps the same through late, but
Yeah.
he loses a little bit of that early game damage that he's got.
And then the base heal is only down by 5, which is
Not much.
nothing. So,
I
and
feel like he
then,
doesn't heal that much to begin with, so
well, I mean, when they first changed him, all they had was a base, and
yeah.
then they hot fixed him to give him I think it's max health or bonus health scaling with
Oh,
it.
okay.
So it's not. It's I don't think it's. Anyways, okay, pass or Vladimir, which I think we did talk about.
Did we
Except they
talk about?
just
I don't remember talking about. Oh
they
yeah, we
just
did, we did, we did.
they
Yeah.
actually just put the numbers because I think it
Yep,
was
yep.
so AP
So
to health is you're
an
getting
extra
that,
20%. Yep.
and then the bonus
Health
HP.
to AP went from 2.5% to 3 1/3,
That was a
which is
very
just a little minor there, but I think that should push him a little more towards prominence. You might start seeing him top lane to combat some of these fighters that want to go all in, because he does play a little bit slower control of a game.
well. He wants to scale apart
Uh,
too.
that's it. That's exactly it. But he doesn't want to necessarily fight you straight up, especially not early, not till he's hit level 6. He doesn't want to sit there and trade with you back and forth because he's going to lose that trade if you're a fighter like uh, I don't know, anybody that's popular Renekton right now that's going to jump on you and try
Yeah,
to jump your bones. He tends to do pretty good into those just because he has the pool. Um, but yeah, I don't know if this is going to put him into prominence quite
I think
yet.
it might. I
It
think this
it
champion
could.
is just they barely like tap what these kind. I'm trying to think of another champion that they like maybe like Rise, where they just
Yeah,
barely give him a little bit of a buff, and he. I mean, Vladimir's annoying as fuck,
his
especially with the.
spirals out of control.
What's up?
Is that yeah? They just spiral out of control. Like
I mean, Vlad's just is you're gonna. It's just scary because you've had those games where a fed Vlad gets down to 1 HP, then he ults you, pulls, and just heals all the way back up and just one
yep,
shots your team. So
presses Q,
I think this
500
might
health.
be
You're like okay.
I think he might be worth playing.
I also do think it's helpful because there's so much healing cut right now, and it's very easy to build an early healing cut item.
Yeah.
That definitely put him out a little bit. I think that's also what's affected Zach and Mundo until Mundo got reworked. So I think this is going to be helpful to help combat that a little bit too. Give you a little extra AP, a little extra HP also. Should be interesting. I am waiting for him to be the top lane counter to Gwen, maybe.
Maybe. All right.
I mean, I could see this champion I could see a world where he builds a Riftmaker. Because he's not going to blow you up right away. He's gonna scale his damage. I can see a world where he builds Riftmaker, and and can compete with a Gwen or a Mordekaiser.
All right. Xin Zhao for sure already went over this, dropping his base AD by 3. Gonna do absolutely nothing because this guy is probably, at least from what I've seen in pro play, is probably the best jungler. Um,
Especially early, where he can just tackle you at level 3.
knock you up and get you pregnant. Just kidding. That was a
Yep,
joke. That was a bad
hit you in the
joke.
bounce house.
So 3 AD, nothing. And we're moving down to Ziggs,
Ziggerino.
getting extra mana at level 1, 60 extra mana, which is I think we were like probably like a Q and a half worth. And then his E damage is getting buffed. I don't think this champion needed to get buffed. Did he? The slow is
His
getting
E.
nerfed
So
on his
no,
E.
what's happening is the E damage is getting nerfed early and then buffed late.
Right. Okay.
And
Right.
the slow is getting nerfed early and staying the same late, and that's to kind of get him out of bot lane.
I don't know. I think the mana buff is good. They just it's not the same, but like think of like Syndra got that change where her the mana on her Q, the mana cost got decreased. So able to spam that more. 60 extra mana level 1. That's a lot. I think that's a lot.
It's quite a bit. I mean, like you said, that's an extra Q and a half.
But no, yeah, this is for
It's
sure
probably an
gonna
extra E.
This is for sure to push him out of bot lane to so he can get levels faster, get solo XP better,
Yep.
um, and get to that max level on his E, which you max second. So, moving down again, we are at Dark Seal again. We don't need to
The
go over this.
items. Yep.
Dropping 1 AP per stack you get, and then you are losing more per death by 1.
Yep.
Redemption is getting a nice buff. It's going to be perfect with Sona.
Yep.
Um, this is for sure like second item. Like you want to go Moonstone or I don't know. Do you want to go Mandate? Or I guess you have to slow. Is there E the slow on Sona?
She doesn't have a slow anymore. That
Oh,
was
they
part of her
removed
power
it.
cord.
Right. Okay. So maybe Mandate might not be the best. I think Moonstone.
Yeah, you probably don't want to go mandate. Unless you build Rylai's, then you can go mandate, but you'd be
That's
locked into building that
expensive.
item. Yeah, you have to be locked into building that. You could do mandate. No, you can't.
I
Never mind.
think.
I take it
Yeah.
back. I'm not even gonna say that.
I
Yeah,
think
you just
just full
Moonstone
healing.
or Shirelia's.
Cerelia's would be good. But
Oh,
yeah, it's for
Shirelia's is
sure. I
great
don't
with
think you're
her.
gonna see those like Luden Echo, Lichbane. I think the actual support of Sona is gonna be superior. Just
Yeah,
max healing.
the other thing I like about this redemption buff is that it is a mana regen item, something that she's gonna want to build anyways, and the other enchanters gonna want to build. So this, like you said, pushed up to like a second item as opposed to a third or fourth.
Yeah, this is. I
And
mean, it's
I will tell you, recently playing enchanters, I don't even build redemption because I think staff of flowing water has been a little bit better. So I think this is really what kind of helps counteract that. Um, there's so many there's so many good enchanter items right now. I mean, even looking at like putrefier and stuff, that what you're sacrificing with one has to be worth it for the other, and they're pretty situational, which I do really like. But I feel like the situations in the game right now don't call for redemption. So seeing this buff may change that idea.
for sure. I think you're trolling if you don't. I don't. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna see how enchanters are gonna play out. I mean, Sona's probably gonna be queen. Like I don't. I can't think of a champion better. God, that Sona just that just blows my mind. That's just so weird. I did not look into it. I barely looked into it last week because I thought we were gonna maybe go over it, but I was kind of brush it off. But holy
Yeah,
shit, it's big. And this
that's
is this
pretty.
is like
It's pretty large.
an indirect buff to Sona. It's gonna be like,
I
hey,
mean, that's an indirect buff to Sona's already big, but I think is going to be a buff that's an indirect buff to the Lulu that just got nerfed, right? Definitely a Yumi buff. Yumi utilized redemption pretty well, so I think it's just an enchanter buff in general. And you might see some of the damage supports that have been popular, like Zyra and Brand. They might start falling out of favor,
for sure.
possibly.
For sure. All right, let's scroll down here because there was a couple things down here that I wanted to see, which were these rank changes. So they are, and this is we were talking about this the last episode where people will be griefing in champ select and forcing people to
Yeah.
dodge. So now if you dodge 3 times in 24 hours, you're getting a 12-hour MOBA queue lockout. I don't know what that's supposed to. What's a
So
I don't know what a MOBA queue
So
is.
you could play TFT.
Oh, okay. So you just can't do anything for 12 hours.
So you can play TFT, but you can't play ARAM or
Oh, I
any
thought.
of the regular league game modes. But because TFT is part of the thing, like we talked about in the client being as stupid as it is, that it's all together for these two particular games. I think that the mobile lockout just means you're not playing ARAM, you're not playing draft, you're not playing ranked, you're not playing with special game mode. You can play TFT, Runeterra, Valorant. Piss
I
off.
thought. I thought you couldn't. So if you got like the 15-minute timer, I thought you couldn't do anything.
You couldn't. So that's what they're changing.
Okay, I'm
So
confused.
so
So what's different then? I
so in the
obviously 12
24-hour
hours.
period, so it's the 12-hour the MOBA queue lockout. So
So
before you couldn't play TFT.
so it's always been called MOBA queue.
Technically, it's all MOBA. I mean, it's all the MOBA games. TFT
I've
isn't a
just
MOBA,
never
right?
heard
That's
that
a.
like that used to define
Yeah,
whatever
I think it only has to be used because of the existence of TFT.
in the dog shit client. Okay, that makes sense. This
And then also the 10 LP loss, I think, is higher than what it was before. I think you only lost
3.
3 every time.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
think if you're dodging, let's be real, if you're dodging 2 times in like one gaming session, just get off. You're not gonna want to play. Don't play.
I gotta say here that I think this, like, just kind of looking at it and realizing as I keep reading it, um, this is going to create more lobby trolls because they'll have dodged twice and they say, "I'm not dodging again,"
Right.
and they'll make someone else dodge, which is actually really shitty.
This is like encouraging people to be
Yeah, I
dicks.
don't. I'm looking at it, and that's how I'm reading that. I'm like, wait a minute, they're not going to want to take a 10 LP loss where they could just take a 3 and then get off. No, 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 no. Now they're just going to further troll the lobby.
Right.
Um, Riot?
I don't
Hello?
know. They gotta, yeah. Hello, Riot, please. This one's cool. Friends leaderboard. You always suspected you were better than your friends, but now you can find out for sure. We've added a new social leaderboard inside ranked Summoners Rift lobbies. So that's like the queue lobby.
That's the pregame. The pregame before you get into champ select, I think.
So it's gonna have it. So instead of having to like right click, go to their profile to look at their rank.
It should just show, yeah,
Oh
which is
God,
smart.
they're adding something else to the client.
I know, right? Another
Okay, no,
plug-in.
never mind. I'm not excited about this anymore. I'm not excited about this anymore.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're
It's
probably right.
gonna we're gonna see that CPU usage just shoot through the fucking roof.
Just an update on that.
Oh,
Side note, but an update on that. Playing the early access for Back for Blood, I did check my CPU usage. That entire game takes 40% at max usage.
that's an
Why the
FPS.
fuck is this client taking 40% just to be a launcher?
What the fuck?
Riot, what are you doing? Take some fucking notes. I don't know.
And then flex queue, mastered above flex players can no longer queue.
I
Okay,
don't have to worry about that.
doesn't yeah. Um, and then I guess the last thing to talk about is these skins coming out, which look fucking sick. I'm
I
so
was, I was
stoked that
I
they
was just scrolling
changed.
through the quality of life changes. Well, yeah, what are the skins? I didn't even see
So
the
the
skins.
new Coven skins, and
Okay.
they
Old
had
God
changed. Yeah,
Malphite.
so they changed the name. Before they were Coven Warwick and Coven Malphite, but
Oh,
Old
were they
God.
really? I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, so they briefly just changed it, which is sick. This
You,
Malphite skin looks insane.
you know what that Malphite skin looks like in the
Thousand Pierce
Warwick?
Bearer.
Yes, it
They
does.
they said it briefly. It's not like the same thing, but it's. I'd have to read into the lore. It's related somehow.
Okay.
Um, did Ari need another skin? Nope.
Now, Ari
Did
hasn't had a skin in a hot minute. Ash is the one that didn't need another skin. She's
she
had
got
so
that?
many
Was it
fucking
like
skins.
Fey Dragoness
Yeah,
one?
dude, I like that one. And then she had
I mean, this
the
looks sick.
Cosmic Queen. What is the other one that she had
High
between the
noon.
Cosmic
High
Queen?
noon.
No, she had that, but there was another one. Oh God, let me look it up right now. I'm on the thing.
I don't know,
Hang
but I
on.
mean, these skins always look good, especially Coven. Like Evelyn looks good, Cassiopeia looks good, Ari looks good, and the prestigious LeBlanc one looks good too.
Oh,
Prestige.
maybe it was Cosmic Queen. Maybe that's not what I was thinking of. But she's had so many. Yeah, 2021 she's had Cosmic Queen, Fey Dragon. 20. Oh God damn it! Give me the release date. So yeah, 2020 she had Fey Dragon. I guess that was 2020. I guess she didn't have
Yeah, it was at the
Cosmic
end of
Queen to
last year.
2018. Yeah, most of her skins are really from the beginning, but I don't know. I feel like she's got a lot of skins and she's been
I
getting a
mean,
lot
it
more.
looks sick as fuck. Don't get me wrong, it looks good.
I think her skin looks really cool,
I
and
fit.
I'm happy about it. I like playing Ash just
Um,
as any position. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy support Ash as much as people hate on it. I just think it's really fun to just press Q and then press R every 30 seconds. I like that.
but see now you're gonna be pressing Q and R on Sona, because that's gonna
I
be more
know.
broken.
Oh, I know. Super
Um,
broken.
that's pretty
I want
much
to
it.
look at the quality of life
Oh, okay.
skins.
Oh, changes.
Champions can now acquire blue buff if they kill blue sentinel while in a zombie state. Oh, nice. So Scion can get it in passive and not lose it. But I guess it was already happening with red buff, so it was a bug with the blue buff.
Interesting.
Um, Fix a bug where players lose their red or blue buffs when executing to non-epic jungle monsters. I didn't even know you got to keep it, so that's interesting.
These feel like very like like, oh, there's like a 1% chance of this happening in games. I've
Yeah,
never experienced
yeah.
any of these.
Um, I don't see that anathema's chains bug that we came across in that ARAM with the
Oh, that's
Cho'Gath.
right. I wonder if that's just for ARAM. Basically, the enemy Cho'Gath had built the item, linked it with me. But when you would hit
When you looked at his
tab,
inventory,
it all I had was a Kindle gem.
yep.
And the guy
And then
that
when you clicked on the champion and you look in the top left corner to see his little
the little debuff, buff,
box,
whatever, yeah.
yeah, he showed anathemas, but only showed a Kindle gem and inventory there as well. So there's a bug somewhere. I don't know. We should have submitted that, and I don't think we did. And I think it's probably too late now.
No, probably. Hopefully someone else catches it
Yeah,
and gets that figured out. Even if it was just for ARAM, because that's really fucking annoying. We were like, what the fuck? Who's he linked with? And I couldn't see
yeah,
anything, or what the hell it was up with that. So,
yeah. That was an interesting one. Also, that Cho'Gath had almost 9,000 health. That sucked.
um, all right. So that's about it. Patch is dropping tomorrow. Um, hopefully you guys that are watching the YouTube video enjoyed the webcam. We're still working on it. It's brand new. We figured it'd be a
Yeah, I
little
was,
bit
apologize if the quality's kind of duty.
figured it'd
We're
be
getting there.
nice for people watching it to actually see our faces, maybe get our reactions of my dumbass reacting to Sona, the Sona changes. Um, but yeah, leave comments, any suggestions, we'll read them out, man. Um, yeah. So if you if
Yeah, you know what? I want our friend from Poland to leave some more comments because he was very insightful, or they were very insightful. I shouldn't assume he.
yeah,
They were very insightful. So thank you for leaving that comment. Anybody else comments on here? Can you comment on Spotify on our podcast?
I
I know you
don't
can
think
comment on
so.
Anchor.
I think
I
it
know
would
you
have
can
to be
comment on
Anchor
Anchor. So Anchor FM, get over there, drop some information, drop some knowledge. Um, Let us know what you're liking, what you're not liking.
open to feedback
Um,
100%.
totally open to feedback. Don't be a douche. I don't think that needs to be said, but also it is the internet. I feel like sometimes you got to say it. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed,
Yeah,
and I hope that we didn't gloss over anything that you wanted to hear a little bit more in depth thoughts about. And if we did, drop a comment. We'll check it out. We'll read it, and we'll give you our reaction.
for sure. And if you're listening on Spotify, follow us there. If you're watching on
Yes,
YouTube, hit us with a subscribe. Anchor.
if if you're on Spotify and you want to see us on YouTube, make sure when you search according to Low Elo, you use the quotes in the search bar. Otherwise, you will not find it. I don't know why, but we obviously, well, I do know why. We're not big enough to beat the algorithm yet.
I
So
need to get a thumbnail going, so I don't think I have an actual thumbnail for the YouTube channel yet. So sorry. But yeah,
we'll work
uh,
on it.
suggestions, feedback, and we'll talk to you guys next time. If there's any, maybe next week we'll do what's happening on PBE, and if there's any changes coming up for the next
That
patch.
that and hot fixes. If hot fixes come through, we can talk about hot fixes.
Great. All right,
Cool,
guys.
guys.
Enjoy your Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and we'll talk to you next time.
Peace.